Warriors versus Penrith, Magic round 11. It's going to be a massive weekend of footy and up against a solid Penrith team, and us in obviously a 4-game losing streak with our own issues, injuries. We're injury riddled at the moment, but hopefully this is a great opportunity to see what we've got, see what some of our depth players have in store for us in the future, and find out what other guys can do away from, I suppose, the more structured side of things. Hopefully we see a more of an open game. But if you are here for the first time, please give us a like and subscribe to Wise Up TV for all your New Zealand Warriors content. We have just hit 1,000 subscribers. Thank you very much to everyone who's been supporters of us, and we appreciate your support. But yeah, let's get into this game quickly, because I haven't had a chance to review the Roosters game. I've talked a lot about it, obviously, on streams, but my thoughts around it, the game was, it was unfortunate to just see how, within such short periods of time, 15-minute window, we leaked 22 points. There's no excuse for it. There's no, there's no excuses from my point of view. It's just a shame that we weren't prepared well enough. And I think especially in our edges, Pompey and Kossi looked disjointed. Kossi in particular just felt he was pretty much off all game, or Papa scoring that try, which I thought was really good. And our go forward, we were doing quite well, and then just those errors like the charge down, and then Roosters absolutely clinical, in my opinion. A team that's just on a tear at the moment, a team that's, the way they attacked and the quality that they have at the current moment with our injuries and current form, it just wasn't, we weren't able to compete in that first 20 at least. But I felt that over the game we were starting to trend upwards a little bit. I felt when Egan came on, he was very fresh. I thought the play the ball speed was good. I thought he was, really starting to cook in and around the ruck. And we started to get some more shape on our left side. It was quite obvious and intentful that they started to work the left channels, and Tamaiti was a little bit more involved. We saw Kossi's try, I thought was a really good one, where they had some good shape. I thought Pompey was good in terms of his lines. And we started to get something else, And so I think in a weird way, even though we lost that game quite a bit, we had maybe a little uptick in trending. Like, so that last 60 minutes, I felt that we kind of are on the upper. Although slightly small, we might be at the bottom of the curve, and we might be finding ourselves right at the bottom, and maybe we're just slowly going up the curve again. I hope so, at least. But I enjoyed the performance in the second half, but again, mental lapses, injuries, no doubt played an impact on them. Still scoring 7 tries is unacceptable if you want to compete for a title. So, but apart from that, there were some performances that I was really happy with. But you just got to take the lessons and move on. And I think for Webby, 4 losses in a row now, it's a new low for him. It's a new low for the club from where we've been last year. Yes, teams have figured us out. Yes, teams are onto us. Yes, we're not as good overall. The team looks disjointed at times. It looks disinterested at times. The attitude is good in moments, and then it's really poor. You can see just the defensive efforts. There's no resilience on the goal line at times. And although teams may score maybe a few tries, they're missing opportunities. They're knocking the ball on. Could be even 3 or more, 4 more tries if teams are very clinical. And I thought the Roosters of all the teams we're coming up were the most clinical. So it's a shame that we lost a bit of our edge. We've been figured out in some ways, and guys aren't performing to the level that they were last year. It's funny, I was watching a little replay, of last season, and the way we attacked was just so much more lethal and vicious and violent. Our lines, our speed, it just seems as though guys don't have that intent, don't have that conviction, don't have that fitness or attitude. Well, I'm not sure what it is in terms of their commitment to playing. I'm not trying to say they aren't playing as hard as they possibly can. I think injuries, fatigue is playing. And I think for a coach like Webster, this is his first big challenge. and it's great. I mean, it gives us a bit of reflection, and I don't like to use the term, "Oh, last year was a fluke." I don't think it was a fluke. It was a coach that came in from a team that was run really poorly, that suffered through COVID, and he put in a structure and defensive system and fitness and all the things that we've been crying for in the history of Warriors. He implemented it within his first season, and he has to be commended. So, and comparatively against the competition 2023, we deserved to get where we got to. Now that competition has improved. I think teams are getting better. Now I think Sixer gains and the style and intensity of the whole competition is starting to catch up with us. We don't look as fresh. We look a lot more tired in around the middle and just in every part of the game. And you look at the depth because of injuries, whether it's because of the competition or our performance, head of performance. Either way you cut it, guys are falling down like flies. And we're really testing the depth. Now I think the depth is good, it's quality, but it's not quite ready yet to be able to change that. What I mean is, but they're not quite there in terms of they're going to take over the spots from, say, like a Ford or Capewell. And I know there's some people calling for, why hasn't Webby trusted in our juniors like Zion to take a spot? I think this is probably the last year where you kind of see that. Well, it could be 2026, but those guys are still a little while off. And yes, I believe he should trust in the juniors coming through, but you've got to remember their program has been staggered through COVID. They're still coming into year. Probably this is their second year if we're talking about stability, regularity, consistency. And so they may have missed a year in prep. Some of them, some are ready, I feel, a little bit more than others. But Webby's banking on the experienced guys. Sometimes a little bit too much in my opinion, but at the same time, we need to get some points on the board. I don't think he's going to risk it too much to do wholesale changes with like a Laban starting over a Ford and dropping Ford out or to the bench or whatever. We need to get some wins. Those guys have proven last year at least that when they're healthy and when they're well, they can get the job done. But yeah, I just think we just need a bit more patient with our development guys. I think they're going to come in time, but that time isn't right now. But anyway, I think that's breaking down, I think, what's generally happening. I think we just have to accept that this is a coach in his second year that will be learning a lot from this. And I hope he is. So there's a lot to take out of it. It's acknowledging that, we're not this perfect club. If you really break it down, we've probably been on a downtrend since the last 5 or 6 games of last season. Those games weren't the greatest. And so if you take that into account, we are where we are right now, and I suppose we just got to trust in the process, trust in the coach that he'll get the job done and improve. And it may not happen this year, let's be honest, but he's a coach for me that you want to invest in for a long period of time. He's proven it. His methods have worked. His relationship with the players has motivated them to perform. So I think he's a coach that you got to give him time. While the development systems are building, he's still recruiting well. The team's recruiting well. They've got Fisher Harris. There's still more work to be done. But let's wait and see how this season shapes up. And if we get into the finals again, we're just going to give him credit. It's just in a tough period. You got to wait it out, grind it out. But we've got a good coach, and I think we've got a good staff and system. Okay, but anyway, let's move on to the Panthers. Look, this team for this Sunday is it's like it's almost like it feels like a social team, a touch team or whatever, social footy team where they rock up and whatever number you put on, what jersey you grab, that's where you're going to play. And I think due to injuries where we're at, when we're around 30 people, we've used almost our complete top 30 nearly. We're asking guys like CNK to play in the halves, which I can understand the reasonings for it. I suppose if you really break down the Warriors system, there's a lot of guys can fill in spots. If Dylan Walker's probably the perfect example, he could probably play in literally every spot on the field because the education and the IQ of his game, he knows how each role looks in each position. So if you add that to someone like Chance, who I think has a familiarity with what each role is supposed to do. He had a little go with the Knights game when we were really down with Tamaire. He did set up a try, so we got to acknowledge that there's some skill there. I think he'll be there just for experience and defence, I suppose. And again, looking for points, keeping the experience on the field. I mean, you could probably go Ben Far. I mean, for me, again, out of interest, to see it as an experiment, I would love to see a guy like a Ben Far play. I'd love to see a Zion Maya. I'd love to see Ali Leotel, which we're going to see. I'd like Setu too. Even other Taufa Graham as an experiment thing. But, I mean, Webby's the head coach. He's trying to get points. What's the best way I can get points with a depleted squad? Probably going to go C&K and bring Tane, who's Tane is kind of got that experience now. So how they manage that, I don't know how it's going to look. Kicking game, I can't imagine is going to be great for this game. We'll be playing with a lot of short fields, I off the top of my head. Penrith will just be too clinical and kick pressure and controlling the ruck, that unless we're having mountains of meters and getting the guys over the 40 to 30 metre line regularly in there in the Penrith half, I just don't see how we have a long kicking game. So we're going to have moments where we're just going to have to fight it out, it feels like. And that's not a recipe for success, because we know the system that Webby's got. It's built off of a kick, getting over the 40 metre line and putting up a bomb / long kick and pinning teams down. So if we can't enact that plan, what does it call for? For me personally, probably calls for something a little bit different. Maybe play eyes up footy, play a bit more unstructured. And if you leak 40 points, it is what it is, because maybe the system isn't suited to these players. But hopefully they figure something out. I'll be interested to see what happens. But I give Webby a lot of respect in terms of the forward pack. He's tried to keep it ideally as strong as possible. I think he understands that that's probably the best he can do against a Panthers team. And I imagine they'll just play through the middle based off the lock. And I just, from what I've seen so far, I think they'll stay within their structure and keeping the four pack as fit, as experienced as possible, with as much energy as they can get. That's probably what they'll do. So for me, we'll just have to wait and see. But it's an exciting kind of thing just to see what guys will be like. I mean, the best example will be, how will Tamaire look without Sean there, where he's the main guy, and how confident is he to run the ship? How will that look? How will C&K look at 6? That'll be just great to watch. Leotoa, that's going to be exciting. Pompey and obviously goal kicking. Montoya's an interesting one for me, because I felt as though that if they drop someone and bring someone in like Kossi, that Kossi would get a run of games. Even with his mistakes and his flaws currently, they would give him time to sort those out. The fact they've gone Montoya again is a little bit alarming for me. It tells me that they're kind of reaching for stuff, and if not able to get a result quickly, it's like they're going back to Montoya. You may disagree with me on that, but I feel like that can be harmful in times. If you don't get a guy coming back truly motivated, there may be errors still in his game, in Montoya's game. And how does that impact Kossi and what he thinks of the club, and how does it move forward, building his confidence, giving him an opportunity? No problem, I don't mind if he goes into cup, but you just literally gave Pompey and Kossi one hit out, and you haven't given them a chance to kind of rectify that. Now, if the video tells you, and the attitude and all that says that Kossi's way off the boil, I got no problem with that, I understand that, but I thought maybe give him a bit more time. But I'm more concerned with the decision to drop Montoya and now bring him up. So I'm not blaming Kossi or Montoya, as the decisions of the coaching staff and Webby. Why did he drop him and then all the way bring him back? And I understand that's probably due to RTS, but you kind of knew that. I'm thinking that you're going to play RTS on the wing. If that's the case, then why not just leave Kossi if you don't really trust him, Montoya? Anyway, long story. But yeah, excited to see just opportunities for guys like Laban. I'd like to see him get a good run. I think, I love Barnett, but on the edge, like, it's great to have him there, but we miss him in the middle sometimes. I think especially against a Penrith, this is going to be a Fisher, Harris, Leota. I can't really see Bunty matching that type of energy, that aggression, and it may be too much at times for Aden. And now that Egan's starting, it's almost, I enjoyed seeing him off the bench, and I'm thinking that's just a little bit, he's going to be depleted, and he might not have the same energy he brought on coming off the bench. So you might lose a bit of that zing in the attack in the middle of the game, which was nice to see. But anyway, it is what it is. It's a team that's riddled with injuries. We just got to get through it. We got to find a way, and it'd be excited just to see what Webby does with the players that he's got. Do you come up with a game plan? What type of game plan can you do? And the main thing for me isn't the attack, it's really the defense. Can you maintain defensive integrity against a team like the Panthers, who will just drill it and continue to break down your patterns until they score? How resilient can you be? For me, it's really about goal line defense. How can you keep them out as long as possible? Now, if I see, we get able to keep them out for 2 or 3 sets, that's awesome for me. It's just we can't keep leaking that type of amount of points and that quickly in succession. It's almost where they score a try, then we kick off and then score again. I mean, we can't be doing that. We have to be resilient in the middle and defensively out wide. So it's going to be a big day for a lot of our guys. I mean, Leota will get a lot of traffic, no doubt. And so they just got to, it's exciting, but also nerve-wracking for some of our younger guys. But I'm thinking, realistically, we're not going to win this game. Even with Cleary out for them, there's just too much experience on that field for them, and the pedigree they bring with them, and the coach, he'll have an understanding of what Webby's trying to do. Likewise, Webby will have understanding of Cleary, but just the players they have at their disposal right now, you feel, especially in the back line, they're a lot stronger than us based on experience, and To'o is just a machine, and Edwards again will be able to steer the ship. In attack, he'll be able to direct the defensive line to get in the right spots at the right time. So it's going to be just a really tough challenge. But for me, what can we get out of it? Well, we're going to get some guys coming in like Ali Leotoa. They can get some opportunities to express themselves, to grow, and to learn. Hey, if he misses 2 tries, if he leaks 2 tries, that's cool. I'd rather him learn now, and then when we bring him down and later in the part, towards the end of the year, he's really and has learnt from his experience. So give him a bit of time. The other young guys like a Laban, give them more experience. Let them go up against a Penrith pack and really test themselves. So those are the types of things I'm excited for. Tane Tuapiki again, another opportunity for him to kind of show his skill set. Chance in the halves. You never know. You might get a situation where you might have to move Chance to 5'8" towards the back end of the season, or a playoff game. So it's all these types of things, scenarios where you want to see, if Sean gets injured in another game, mid-game, you want to see what Tamaiti can do now. If it's in a big game towards the end of the season, at least we know what Tamaiti can offer if he's a starting half. So it's all those types of little things that I'm watching for. I'll be really assessing, obviously, for me it's the defence, and ultimately just individuals, how they operate within the system that Webby set up. Sean's been there since day dot, apart from 1 or 2 games he missed last year. He's been the main guy, he stayed fit, and he's been the focal point in terms of directing the ship. Now's an opportunity where, if he's out for 2 or 3 weeks or whatever it may be, how is the ship going to be steered? How will it be directed? Who will be leading it? And what does it look like with someone different? Does it look different? Does the system look a little bit different? Does the decision making around kicking and those types of options, do they look different with someone else directing it? And then we can start to see, okay, actually, maybe Metcalf will look good as a starting halfback. Or maybe, oh man, we're going to really need Sean to come down for the rest of the season. We'll need him fit and ready, and maybe even for 2025. So it's just one of those games to just assess the playing group a bit more, and assess what the tactics are post SJ maybe, or just what does it look like without Sean. So I think ultimately, if we get a win, hey, I'll be blown away. We shouldn't really be winning this game based off the injuries. But man, if we pull this one off, it'll be a great sign, and we need much needed 2 points. But if we lose in a close one, I'll still be proud. I would just love to see what the future holds, and maybe what can we do without our main guys in key positions. So just one of those ones to just wait and see. Just enjoy it. I know it might be frustrating. It could be a blowout again. We may see the same flaws, same issues, which again would just emphasize the need for changes, the need for the coaching staff and the team to figure things out. But also, amongst that performance, I'm hoping just to see a few individual brilliances. Like Ali Leotao, I'd just love to see him up against Taylor May and that edge, just see what he can do. So there's a lot of opportunities for people. Make the most of it. For me, enjoy it as much as you can. I know it'll be heartbreaking for us, but just take the best out of it. Look at the game for what it is, and kind of break down the individuals. I think those are the ones we'll be looking at. But anyway, guys, that's my thoughts on the game. Little review of the Roosters, preview of the Panthers, and overall view. We're in a bit of a rut, but I trust in Webby. I trust in the whole system. I think we'll be okay. But yeah, that's my review. If you guys are still here, please give us a like and subscribe. We appreciate you all. And up the wires. Peace.